What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This series has been going on for over 30 years now, and in those 3 decades, Nintendo has found new, amazing ways to reinvent it every generation. From its simple 2D beginnings to its epic adventures through time, fans have learned that you truly have no idea what to expect from Link's next sequel. Even with that being said, Breath of the Wild is easily the biggest surprise project in the entire franchise because they changed so much about the gameplay that it almost seems like a different universe than anything that's come before. As soon as I began my quest into Hyrule, I couldn't help but be overwhelmed by how lost I was in the best way possible. Normally, Zelda games stick to at least a rough pattern of giving us our sword, leading us towards an early dungeon, and allowing gamers a chance to learn your abilities. This certainly isn't the case anymore. The opening movie is just a short clip of our hero awakening in a strange pool of liquid and wandering outside. We're immediately set free in a vast, open world, and honestly, things can start off a little daunting. The largest innovation that Breath of the Wild makes to the series overall is that there's really no one path anymore. Link's journey is left up to us, and whether that means you rush straight to the last boss, master your new magical talents, or spend 200 hours doing side missions, there isn't really a single main goal we're supposed to accomplish, and that's part of what makes it so addicting to play. Let's dig into what will probably throw people off the most, which is the radically redone controls. Our hero is given a much greater range of skills this time around for the grand adventure he's about to go on. We can now climb walls, use a hang glider to fly over the land, and wield any weapon. Instead of explaining how these mechanics work though, we're just left in tough spots where we need to experiment or die. You may love using spears and get really good at fighting with them, but eventually you'll find yourself cornered by a team of moblins and have your blade break from taking too much damage. This leaves you desperately trying to grab whatever you can off the ground to defend yourself, and maybe leading to discovering a tool that you like even more. Say you're stuck in a shrine that requires you to tilt the controller to move a giant ball and press a button. You can follow the rules of this puzzle or just start testing your own random ideas to see what happens. There are often tons of solutions to every situation. Of everything they've added in Breath of the Wild, nothing blew my mind more than the incredible magic spells we have in our arsenal. We're able to pull mighty bombs out of thin air, freeze water to make bridges, stop objects in time for a few seconds, or my personal favorite, magnesis, a talent that lets you throw around anything made from metal. Much like how it was when you first picked up a weapon and swung it in a rather sloppy style, these skills with practice become a fluid part of both solving problems and helping in combat. Whenever you're not taking on a mission, we're simply left to explore Hyrule and have fun goofing around, and this is really when Zelda shines the brightest. Similar to how Skyrim was so legendary for the wonderful flow and environments, this too is a land that encourages us to test the limits of our surroundings. For example, at one point I saw a chest way off in the distance, but I didn't know how to get to it. I figured out that it was possible to climb on top of a nearby cliff and float all the way over to it, but the second it was open, there was a shining tower on the horizon that grabbed my attention. Unable to resist my curiosity, I tamed a horse and set off to see what was hidden inside. Once I got there, I found that I wasn't strong enough to get past some of the ancient monsters that were near it, causing my death, but instead of making me frustrated, this just made me even more fascinated to learn how I could dominate this objective. This balance of raw adventuring and focused questing works so perfectly, and it's also how the storytelling functions as well. Link is awakening in a totally mysterious era in Hyrule's chaotic history. 100 years ago, there was some sort of great calamity that nearly wiped out the kingdom, and as we progress through the game's many dungeons, we encounter a wide variety of cool characters who will tell us about these events. Finding new towns quickly becomes just as much of an issue of restocking items and getting new gear as it is about meeting people and adding depth to the world. I like that they managed to strike this interesting mix between pure freedom and a strict final mission. We know that eventually we'll be forced to track down the evil behind this ruthless destruction, or else it'll consume us all. My only minor gripe with this stellar game is that there's clearly some technical issues. Running in deep grass can cause terrible frame rate drops, occasionally explosions won't look right, and if you fall or launch yourself too fast, the camera gets confused and can't keep up. Other than these incredibly tiny errors, this game is absolutely exceptional and makes me think that this might be the very best title in the long-beloved Zelda series. Okay, so we've heard some good and some bad, but let's head over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild a 10 out of 10. Nintendo, you've really surprised me again with how much you're really shaking things up lately. Keep doing daring design like this and you might turn me into a fanboy someday. If you have a Switch or a Wii U, definitely check this one out as soon as you can. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go play with my Master Sword for another 20 hours. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.